Hi, this is Shelley Crafter coming to you live on SNNLive. We're at the University of Maryland BioPark in Baltimore, Maryland, on location. I have Derrick of Fyodor Biotechnologies, a private company. I want to welcome you to SNNLive.
Thank you, Shelley. Pleasure to be here.
And it's good to have you. Okay, let's get right into it. Tell me about Fyodor.
So we are located, Fyodor Biotechnologies is located here in the BioPark. We've been here for about 2 years. We are focused on the development and commercializations of innovative technologies in the diagnostic and therapeutic area, specifically targeted at the healthcare needs of people who live in what we call emerging economies. For example, sub-Saharan Africa and other areas of the world. And our first target is malaria.
A big enough target, to say the least. So when you bring these technologies into Maryland BioPark, how far along have you come in these 2 years? How close are you to, I don't want to say commercialization, let's say utilization?
Okay. So in 2008, we licensed a technology from the Johns Hopkins University for a diagnostic for malaria that uses urine instead of blood. This is very unique right now. It is possible to diagnose malaria, but you need a blood sample, which is very difficult to get in some areas of the world. And we have moved along relatively quickly in our development. We are presently doing studies in both Mali and Nigeria. And if all things went as we planned, which they don't often do, we could potentially commercialize our urine malaria diagnostic in early 2014.
Wow. So now here's my question. I know that sometimes there's a time delay in the finding out if someone's positive, negative, etc. How have you increased the time to get the information, or decrease the time, I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. How do you find out faster because of you?
Sure. So global organizations and national ministries of health throughout the world, in countries especially where malaria is endemic, have aimed at diagnosis and treatment of malaria within 24 hours of onset of fever. More than 200 million people get malaria every year. More than 600,000 of them die, and it's a very easily treated disease. So the tools that are available right now require a blood sample. That can take hours at least, sometimes days, depending on where people are located. And our test requires just a urine sample. It's like a pregnancy test. You can do it at home, and it requires 10 to 20 minutes of time. You know if you have malaria, and so you can treat it if it is truly malaria. And if it isn't, you can seek the appropriate help.
This is groundbreaking.
It is. We're quite excited about it.
So, nothing's easy. We know that, especially funding. Mm-hmm. So you must be getting funding to get this to the market as soon as, with 200 million people affected, it's not an orphan disease here we're talking about. No. So where are you getting your funding from currently?
So we have a number of private investors. And in fact, our aim with our investors is a dual bottom line of doing well by doing good. In addition, we have been very fortunate. The state of Maryland has abundant resources for bio-entrepreneurs. We have been able to take advantage of state funding in the form of loans and grants from both the Maryland Biotechnology Center, the Maryland Industrial Partnerships, TEDCO, as well as federal funding. We have just received our second National Science Foundation grant. So it's one of the great reasons to be in Maryland.
What's your background?
So I started in a clinical laboratory in microbiology and then did product development at a commercial company. Through the years, became more involved in the licensing and business development part of it. And a few years ago, I met Dr. Eddie Agbo, who is the CEO and founder of Fyodor Biotechnologies, and was really interested in this cause. And so I'm applying my lab skills as well as product development, business development, fundraising, and when you're in a small company, you get to do everything. It's kind of fun.
Right. Not only do you have the opportunity to do everything, but you have to do everything.
Right.
My question is, where does the name Fyodor come from?
So it occurred before I joined the company, but from Eddie has told me that it means gift from God in Russian. So we're very diverse.
Well, I mean, you're going to make gigantic headlines very soon, because when you affect this many people, you'll be honored because it's such a do-good situation. What is the website for our investor audience to get to find out more information?
So the website is www.fyodorbio.com.
And I'm not even going to go into the FDA approvals, because this development breakthrough is something that is kind of like urgent out there. And I want to, what I do want to ask you is, based on the urgency of the need for this test, which will also yield some therapies that might be new, are you going to have a long time to get through the FDA on this? I mean, that's my question.
So actually, this product is unique in that it doesn't require FDA approval. The target market is Africa and Asia, where the World Health Organization and other global organizations require certain certifications and hoops that a product has to pass before it can be listed on a list for purchase. However, we intend to go through FDA approval because we also believe there's a significant travelers market. For example, more than 18 million people in the U.S. alone go to countries where malaria is endemic. And if you have a fever, it's nice to know if it's due to malaria or not. Having said that, though, the FDA approval for a diagnostic is relatively short, 90 days in some cases. So we intend to go that route as well.
And it doesn't hurt that they're right down the block.
I know, it's great. We're located in a great place.
And that's why, another reason why you're in Maryland, right?
Exactly. A lot of our collaborators are here. We collaborate with the University of Maryland, both the Baltimore and College Park campus, as well as Johns Hopkins University.
And the website one more time?
www.fyodorbio.com.
And that's spelled Fyodor, Fyodor. I said Fyodor first, but it's Fyodor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Derrick of Fyodor Biotechnologies, a private company. We are on location at the University of Maryland BioPark in Baltimore. Let me thank you for coming on to SNNLive.
A pleasure.
And
Thank you.
I want to wish you luck.
Thank you very much.